everybody, this is Mariana and this is
Joe, and we are here to show you the expat file. Funny travel stories. Here we go.
Yep. Today we're talking about driving abroad. We have some with taxis. We did already that. And this is us actually driving.
Home base is Texas, so Houston has a lot of special traffic and it's competitive there. And, if some people say if you use a signal, it's a sign of weakness. And so, we think we're pretty tough over there. But, I've driven in Rome, I've driven in Mexico City, I've driven in Paris, and there's some exciting differences to driving home in the USA or North America. Lots of differences. One of the first ones in Europe and specifically in Sweden, they have this thing called the right-hand rule. And you can be going, it looks like a two-way street or a two-way highway or a two-way thoroughfare. And if somebody comes from, you're going forward, and if somebody comes from your right-hand side and they want to turn onto this thoroughfare that you're on, you have to pause and wait for them and give them right away so that they can turn. And basically, like some people have told us that if a car is coming out and you're going forward and a car is coming out, you always protect your passenger. And so that's why you stop. Honestly, here, I didn't know about that when we first started. I would drive and people would be sitting there looking at me like, hey, you were supposed to, and I'd just drive through, or they would stop and I would look at them going, what are you thinking? And they actually were the ones that had the right of way. And so, here I am, the crazy foreigner that telling them that they're wrong.
We were in Italy, and after his job finished, I had booked us to stay 2 extra weeks after that so that we could go travel as a family. Right when he finishes the project, work tells him, no, we're sorry, you're going to Korea. And we have been in Italy for a while now, so I'm like, I don't have anything in the immediate vicinity to go tour. And what am I gonna do with traveling with 3 kids and a dog? I can go change the flights and go home early and just forget about the 2 weeks, or I can turn it into an adventure. So it got turned into an adventure. I rent a car to drive all the way to Pamplona, crossing Italy, France, and Spain. And I need to return the car in Milan's airport to catch our flights back. They give me the car, but it has a humming sound. I tell them, but they say, it's a diesel. They make sounds. Don't worry about it. So off we go. We drive for the first day for 8 hours. Then I stop so that we can have dinner and rest and whatever. No issues the first day. Second day, somewhere in around Carcassonne in France, the car breaks down. Mm-hmm. They used to have these stations with a phone in there, so you would call the emergency services from there. And they were like about every kilometer, they would have one of those little phones. So thank goodness my car broke down like really close to that, so I was able to get out of the car, call them. They're not understanding me in English. I'm trying it in Spanish. They're still not getting it. But I guess just the fact that I was using the phone gave them the clue that I needed help. So about an hour later, a tow truck comes in and they tow me to this itty bitty town where the people basically make the decision that this car is not going anywhere. I need another car. They can't fix it. So after I don't know how many hours I had spent already packing that car to take off, now I need to pull everything out, 3 kids and a dog, and they put us in a van and drive us back 2 hours. Next day we get a hotel night for that night, and then the next day off we go. We had been spending a lot of time driving in Italy. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they had a color for the free roads and then a different color for toll roads. But once you cross the French border, it was the exact opposite. This is the route I should have taken all the way up to San Sebastian, then down to Pamplona. Remember, this is pre-GPS on cell phones. All I have is printed directions from an internet cafe. Here's the mistake. Instead of taking the route with nice highways, I go via the Pyrenees mountain range. Not a good idea. I don't want to turn around anymore because we've already wasted a ton of time with the broken car, etc., etc. So I keep going, and then all of a sudden we hit the mountain and we just to begin to go up and up and up and up. One of the kids, and I won't say any names, gets motion sickness, and also the dog begins to get motion sickness. So the dog begins to puke. So now the kids are all in the back seat going, grouse and whatever. And then one of the kids begins to go, I have to throw up. I'm at the top of the mountain by this time. There's ice on either side of the road. Only the road is clear with no snow. But there's so much snow that it's a two-way street, and there's nowhere for me to pull over. So if I stop, I'm stopping traffic. And this is curvy road. So it could be somebody making the curve, not seeing me and hitting me from behind. So I really cannot, for safety reasons, I can't stop. The kid is going, I gotta puke. So I'm like, I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to roll the window down, stick your head out on the side of the road where the snow is, that nobody's gonna cut your head off. And you're just gonna have to puke that way. So I'm still driving while this is happening in the back seat. And we're still going like this. And now we're beginning to go down the mountain. So now, finally, we get to this, like, what do you call them? A RAS place here? Lookout point. And so we pulled over in there. Out comes anything that the dog had done. The side door of the car has all this evidence of what just happened to it.
Frozen puke all over it.
So I tell the kids, okay, everybody's going to grab snow and we're going to throw it in the car. It's like, we need to clean it.
Snowball fight with the car.
So they do this and they're having a ball, and so it gets as clean as it's going to get. But those are some of the stories of living the expat life. Sometimes you plan for a family vacation and life gives you something else. That ended up being I think that one of the most interesting trips I've taken with the kids. They will forever remember that one.
Mm-hmm. In Sweden, all the back roads are, for the most part, plowed and cleared quite well. But with the inclement weather, the way it happens in Sweden, it can snow at the drop of a hat. And when it comes down, it doesn't take long, 30 minutes to an hour, and you can have a big whopping load of snow on the road. So I got used to that, and I had a really well set up car. It was 4-wheel drive sedan with really great tires on it. And so I went on a 4-hour trip down to this lab that I had to go watch some tests at. And when I was coming back, this is in the middle of winter, and so it started snowing. Snow coming down gives you a very, very limited visibility. Well, I knew all these roads really well because I had driven them, a couple times, sometimes 3 times a week for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end. And so I was coming back and I knew every curve and everything like that. And I just wanted to hurry up and get home because I was tired. So I was coming back up and I was driving kind of fast, and there was a big steep incline down to my right side. And then the incline went up on the other side, and there was lots and lots of woods. Well, in Sweden, you have a ton of moose. There's moose everywhere. And this was out in a rural area. And with that snow coming down, it really limited the visibility. And I was zooming up and down. I knew exactly where the curve was, done that 1,000 times. And so I had the radio playing and everything. And so when I was coming up that curve, I thought I saw something out, onto the left, and I thought it was kind of moving or something like that. And I looked, and anyway, the windshield wipers are going, and so between wipes, boom, all of a sudden I see, wow, there is this big, huge, moving mass of animal. And between wipes again, I see, oh my gosh, that's a moose. So I squeeze as far over to the right as I can because I have this big drop off that's going over there. So if I go off there, I'm going down this thing and I'm going to tumble down. And yet I have this big, huge mass of moose coming over, and I hear this really weird noise in the car as I'm trying to pass that. And like I said, it's kind of like you're just getting blinks of your reality. and everything's slowing down. And so the blinks of reality are because the snow's being cleared back and forth from the windshield wipers. And I see that this is and it's close, and I'm squeezing over, and I don't know how I missed this thing, but all I heard was just a little bloop on the top of the roof. And I heard that noise, this really high-pitched noise at the same time. And I realized that that's my own voice squealing like a little girl, because I'm like, woo, don't think I'm going to make it. Anyway, I don't see the moose anymore. I make it through and I stop. I get out of the car and I walk back to see what in the world happened. There is no way, unless that was an invisible ghost moose that I went through or something like that. And I walk back behind and I, check to see if there's any blood or what. I missed the moose, thank goodness. And I could see the tracks of it running down in the woods. So I think I must have just hit the underneath part of his chin must have just gone right over the top of my car as I zoomed by and squeezed over. And then, of course, I go home. Well, then everybody, of course, I tell them the story. Oh my gosh, there's this moose and everything like that. I think I almost hit it. And wow, that would have really sucked. It would have messed up my car. They're like, dude, let's show you all these. And then they start pulling up all these pictures of people that they know that have hit this moose. If you hit a moose, it's like hitting a big cow. It crushes the entire car and you basically get squashed to death. That's my story of the squealing voice and barely missing the moose and wondering what the hell just happened.
So if you like this video,
subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and hit the
like button.
Bell.
Oh, hit the bell. See, I don't even know.
So you can hit the like button twice.
Yeah, because then it's like like on like.
Yeah, so you do have
only once.
Only once. Tell us your story in the comments below.
Yeah.
So thanks again. We'll see you in the next video.